Aloha, this is Dr. Martina and welcome. Open relationships have been part of the society for a long time. They used to be polarized within the gay male community, but the millennials in heterosexual and homosexual relationships have decided to talk about them and engage in them more freely. So I have decided to talk to you about them today in this video. I will give you some pros and cons on open relationships, a personal experience I had with one, and also what is your other option if open relationship is not for you, but you still need some changes in your current relationship. And here are the pros and the cons. Let's start with the good things first. Suppose sex is a constant pressure between you and your partner, and you have different appetites for sexual activities. In that case, an open relationship can relieve some of that pressure, and it could once again harmonize the relationship you have with your partner. An open relationship can help you figure out what it is that you want by realizing that sharing your partner with someone else is not what you want, and becoming that clear, you will not feel any kind of outside pressure to step into one. An open relationship can ultimately increase the connection between you and your partner if that is the original intent and if both of you have expressed that desire beforehand. How about the cons? Venturing into an open relationship requires competent and mature communication. Without these mostly difficult conversations that need to be had for the agreements of the open relationship, it will not be successful. Sleeping with other people may relieve the pressure that threatens your relationship, but it could also be a free pass for one of you to leave the relationship. Open relationships should not be used to avoid the difficult conversations that need to be had between you and your partner about your current sexual love life or lack thereof. If you avoid that conversation by opening yourself to an open relationship, you will keep on bearing those dissatisfaction, and ultimately it will come up as a resentment, and it will do the opposite than what you intended this open relationship should do for you two. My personal experience with an open relationship was as follows. A while back, I was in a loving relationship with a woman that I loved deeply and dearly, and it was mutual. We had pretty much a perfect life, except in the bedroom. After numerous fights and complaining about the lack of intimacy and lack of sex that we were having, we did a lot of complaining. We really didn't know how to fix it at that time, so we decided to open it up so we can both have our own lovers. At first, it was very exhilarating because I was finally able to express my sexual desires to people, and they were responding to it, and I had my body loved. But then rather quickly I've learned that when I would come home after being with somebody else and I tried to slip into the bed with my partner, it was very confusing. There were feelings of guilt and shame and frustration, because I realized I don't want to separate my sexual desires and my emotional desires, and I want to experience both with the person that I'm in a relationship with. So I've learned a very valuable lesson from being in an open relationship, that this is not something that I want, and it's not something I want to focus on, which allowed me to focus on monogamy when I'm in a relationship, and I've never looked back ever since. So it was a valuable lesson, and I'm grateful that it happened, even so there were some very painful moments in it, but the award was definitely that I know what I want at this point. Now, if non-monogamy is not an option, then I suggest that you focus on monogamy. I understand that history shows that we've been living in non-monogamy as a society much longer than we have in monogamy. But that doesn't mean that it cannot be fulfilling and satisfying, and that it cannot be enough. The term I like to use is nirvana, because that is what I feel if my emotional and sexual desires are being met with equal intent and joy and reciprocation. Now, you have to have conversation about difficult, touchy conversation about the lack of or the dissatisfaction of your sex life. And within those conversations, you can create mutual goals and then create a path that will both get you there. Because I believe being emotionally and genitally eroticized by the person that you love and that you're in a relationship with is a complete way of being connected with your partner. I have seen open relationships start and flourish and blossom and being exciting and wonderful and exactly what the partners want. And I've seen open relationship do its beginning and excitement and then actually being the ultimate breakup of a relationship. Whatever you choose, the bottom line is that it is your responsibility to figure out what it is that you want, what it is that your emotional desires are, your sexual desires, and be able to communicate that with your partner and also listen to them what they want. And if you have common goals within that conversation, then you will be able to create a bond in a relationship that is built, as long as it's built on love and kindness and honesty. If it's monogamous or non-monogamous, that is completely up to you. I believe sex can be and is the glue in a relationship, but it needs to be learned about, talked about, and desired. So wherever you find yourself in a relationship currently, or the beginning of one, or you see one on the horizon and you need to talk about this stuff, you give me a call and I'll be more than glad to help you. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next week.